Yeah, just like I have my favourite sort of currencies, you know, I have my little pet faves at the moment, you know, I have my little sort of gems, as I call them. So too, I do have my pet patterns, and they tend to be ones that I recognise quickly and early on. So it's not necessarily any particular pattern, but it's one that I've kind of learnt to spot early on, and so my whole psyche is working with the pattern. So it makes life easy. It just makes, yeah, it makes decision making so much easy. So what I tend to like is either head and shoulders, double and triple tops, double and triple bottoms, which are versions of the same thing. It's all versions of the same thing. So keep that in mind. They're not disparate things, right? Those I like a lot. And then certain candlesticks. And my two favourites are chalk and cheese of each other. At the bottom of a market, it's a hammer, and it looks like a mallet. So it's got a long, thin body, and a long, thin body. One of my favourite candlestick patterns, well, it's two of them actually, and they're variations of the same thing. At the bottom of a market you get something that's called a hammer, and it's got a long thin dangly bit and a very short little body. The dangly bit is also known as the whisker in Japanese. Long thin whisker down to an extreme low point after a bear market. And don't forget, always the patterns follow on from a trend, the ones I've just mentioned. They follow on from a trend, they don't exist in limbo. And at the top of the market, something called a hanging man, who also has a very tiny little body, which is its head, and the long, thin whisker dangling down, which he's got his head stuck in the noose, and that's the top of the market.
Interesting. I mean, how do you recognise which patterns will be more reliable?
It's part of the answer to the previous question, isn't it? The ones that I learned to recognise sooner, so I'm kind of working with them, and ones that are very, very dramatic, that, I mean, they really just stand out and bite you in the face, saying, look at me, look at me. Those are the ones that I like a lot and are very much more reliable. Well, the reversal ones we've been through, which is the head and shoulders, double top, triple top, and bottoms. Continuations are far more tricky, but I suppose my favourite are triangles, particularly right-angled triangles, because they can be quite punchy. On the other hand, sometimes I want a really nice steady market. I don't want it to fizzle out on me all like that. I want something that I can go with and hold on to for quite a long time. So then symmetrical triangles are really very nice to work with.